Let me ask you a question. Have you ever set a goal, felt excited for a day or two, and then watched it fade away like yesterday's news? You're not alone. Most people set goals the way they buy lottery tickets, with hope, but no plan. They write it down once, maybe say it out loud, then they wait, and they wonder why nothing changes. But here's the truth. Goals don't work because you wish they would. They work when you work them, with structure, with purpose, with discipline. Now, I'm not here to give you fluff. I'm here to give you a formula, a method that works, if you do. You see, goal setting isn't magic. It's not about motivational quotes on your wall. It's about turning vague dreams into crystal clear targets, and then becoming the kind of person who can hit those targets. If you're tired of starting strong and finishing nowhere, if you're done with goals that sound good but go nowhere, then this message is for you. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process that turns wishful thinking into real results. This is how you set goals that actually work. Not someday, not next year, today, right now. Let's begin. Start with a strong why. If you want to set goals that actually work, goals that stick, goals that pull you forward even on the hard days, you must begin with this, a strong why. Now let me tell you something important. Reasons come first, answers come second. You don't need all the answers when you start. You don't need the perfect plan. But what you do need, and need badly, is a reason. A reason so strong, it pulls you out of bed when your body says sleep. A reason so clear, it silences the noise of excuses. A reason so deep, even fear starts to back away. That's what a why does. Let me give you an example. Let's say someone says, "Jim, I want to lose weight." I say, "Great. Why?" They say, "Because I want to look better." Now listen, that's fine. But it's not strong, not deep, not enough to make you pass up the cake at midnight. Not enough to wake you up early for that walk in the rain. Now here's another person. She says, "Jim, I want to lose weight because my daughter looked me in the eyes last week and said, 'Mom, I don't want you to die young.'" Now that is a reason. That's not just a goal. That's a mission. That's a purpose. That's power. And listen to me. Reasons will always outlast motivation. Motivation fades. Reasons remain. If your why is weak, your effort will be too. If your why is powerful, your path will find you. Because people don't get burnt out from working hard. They burn out from working on things that don't matter to them. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pause, reflect, and ask yourself, why do I want this goal? What's really at stake? Is it freedom? Is it respect? Is it proving to yourself that you can? Is it building something your children will be proud of? Whatever it is, find it. Write it down. Say it out loud. Make it real. Make it emotional. Make it yours. Because when your why is strong enough, the how starts to show up. The doors open. The right people come into your life. The energy finds you. But if your why is weak, you'll find every excuse in the world to quit. So don't just set goals. Set breeze. Don't just write a list. Write a legacy. This is where real goal setting begins. Not on paper, but deep in your heart. So I challenge you, don't move on to chapter 2 until you've done this one thing. Write down 5 reasons why your goal matters. And don't settle for surface answers. Dig deep, because the deeper you go, the higher you rise. That's the start of goals that actually work. Let's move forward, now that we know why. Define it or drift. Let me tell you one of life's simple truths. If you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. And that somewhere else is rarely where you wanted to be. See, most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. Worse yet, some don't aim at all. Now hear me carefully. You cannot hit a target. You cannot see. You can't reach a goal that hasn't been clearly defined. A dream without a plan is just a wish, and a goal without clarity is just noise. You've got to get specific. Don't say, "I want to get fit." Say, "I want to lose 10 pounds by June 30th. Don't say, "I want more money." Say, "I want to earn $5,000 a month doing freelance work by December." Don't say, "I want to be better." Say, "I want to read 12 books this year on personal development." Because when the goal is fuzzy, your action will be too. But when the goal is clear, your mind kicks into gear. The subconscious goes to work. Ideas start coming. Doors start opening. Resources begin to align. But here's the danger. If you don't define your goal, life will define it for you. And life tends to hand you a role, instead of helping you write your own script. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been busy all day but accomplished nothing that mattered? That's what drifting looks like. You move, but you don't advance. You work, but you don't win. Why? Because you're reacting instead of directing. It's like sailing with no compass. The wind blows, and you go wherever it takes you. But let me remind you, you are not a sail. You are the captain. And a captain has a chart, a direction, a destination. So here's your assignment for today. Pick one goal, just one, and define it with total clarity. Make it specific, measurable, with a deadline and emotionally connected to your why. Write it down, read it aloud, and ask yourself, would I recognize this goal if I saw it coming true in real life? If the answer is no, go back and define it better. And don't be vague. Don't say soon. Let me give you a Jim Rohn tip. Someday is not a day on the calendar. Put it on paper. Put it on your wall. And most importantly, put it in your mind every single day. Because if you define it, you can design it. But if you don't define it, you'll drift. And drifting never leads to destiny. So get clear, get focused, and let's move forward with a goal you can see, measure, and pursue with purpose. Now that you know what you want, let's talk about how to lock it in. Write it down, lock it in. Now listen closely. What you don't write down, you will eventually forget. And what you forget, you'll never accomplish. One of the simplest, most powerful success habits I ever learned was this: write it down. Not type it, not just say it. Write it with your own hand, on paper, with intention. Why? Because writing activates the mind in a different way. It turns thought into form. It takes something invisible and makes it real. You see, it's one thing to think about your goals. It's another thing entirely to see them written in your own handwriting. Suddenly, they become personal, tangible, concrete. When you write it down, you lock it in. I used to carry what I called a goals card, a little index card in my pocket, folded, worn, always with me. On it, my top 5 goals. I'd look at it every morning, every night, sometimes in between. Why? Because repetition rewires the mind. You become what you think about. And when you write your goals down, review them, speak them, you're thinking about them constantly. And the mind, my friend, is a goal-seeking mechanism. Once it knows what to look for, it starts to find it. Now some people say, Jim, I don't need to write it down. I've got it in my head. Let me tell you something. If it's only in your head, it's a dream. If it's on paper, it's a commitment. If I walked into your home or office today, would I find your goals posted somewhere? Would I see them in a notebook, on a board, in a journal? Because if not, I can already tell you what's missing. Focus. The written goal creates clarity. Clarity creates urgency. And urgency creates action. So here's what I want you to do. Not later, not tomorrow. Right now, take out a notebook, a journal, a sticky note. I don't care what it is, and write this at the top of the page. My top 5 goals right now. Then list them. Write them as if they are already in motion. Be specific, be bold, be honest. And once they're written, don't hide them. Put them on your wall, on your mirror, on your desk, in your wallet, anywhere and everywhere. Because when you see your goals, you remember your goals. And when you remember them, you move toward them. Writing your goals down is not a luxury. It's not a suggestion. It's a requirement. So take this simple step. Because when you write it down, you lock it in. And once it's locked in, it's only a matter of time. Break it down to build it up. Now that your goal is clear, now that it's written down and locked in, it's time to do something most people never do. Break it down. Let me say it plainly. Big goals can be intimidating. They can overwhelm you, make you freeze, make you say things like, where do I even start? Well, that's the secret. You start small. Don't let the size of your goals scare you. Let the size of your daily actions excite you. Let me give you a principle I've lived by. Every mountain is climbed one step at a time. No one wakes up at the bottom and magically appears at the peak. There are switchbacks, plateaus, rest stops. But there are also steps, one after another, taken with purpose. The same goes for your goals. If your goal is to save $10,000, don't just stare at the number. Break it down. That's $833 a month. That's $28 a day. Now that's something your brain can understand, something you can measure, something you can act on. If your goal is to write a book, don't get lost in the idea of 200 pages. Break it down. That's 5 pages a day for 40 days, or just 1 chapter a week. Now the goal doesn't feel heavy. It feels doable. Chunk it, slice it, schedule it. That's the strategy. You see, the way to tackle a big dream is not to take one giant leap, but to take many small steps in the right direction. And with each step, you gain momentum. You build belief. You move closer. Let me ask you, if you committed just 1 hour a day to your dream, where would you be in 6 months? I'll tell you where. Farther than most people ever get in their lifetime. Because the key is not speed, it's consistency. Daily action over time creates extraordinary results. So here's your assignment. Take your goal and break it into 4 milestones. That's your quarterly plan. Then break each milestone into monthly steps. Then break each month into weekly actions. Now your calendar becomes your scoreboard. Each week you know exactly what to do. No confusion, no guessing, no drifting. And when you check those small boxes, you start to build big confidence. Because progress is powerful. Even if it's just one step today, it matters. So remember, don't let the size of the dream scare you. Let the structure of the plan guide you. Break it down, build it up, step by step, goal by goal, win by win. That's how big things get done. Now let's move on to the habits that will fuel your journey. Day in, day out. Align your habits with your goals. Let me tell you something that'll change how you think about goals forever. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Goals are the destination, but habits are the transportation. You can dream all day. You can write down goals, visualize, make vision boards. But if your daily habits don't match your goals, you'll never get there. That's like saying you want to get to New York, but every day you drive toward Los Angeles. You cannot live like one person and expect to become another. Now here's what most people do. They set big goals, then go right back to small habits, old routines, familiar patterns, comfortable behaviors, and they wonder why nothing changes. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. That's what I learned from my mentor. That's what I practiced, and that's what I'm passing on to you. So how do we align our habits with our goals? Simple. Step 1. Identify the habits your goal demands. If you want to get fit, your habits have to look like someone who values health, meal prep, sleep, exercise, hydration, not chips at midnight and excuses in the morning. If you want financial freedom, your habits must reflect discipline. Track your spending, save first, invest wisely, learn continuously. Step 2. Make those habits non-negotiable. Not when I feel like it, not when I have time. Make it part of who you are. If your goal is big, your discipline must be bigger. Step 3. Replace what doesn't serve you. You can't just add good habits on top of bad ones. You've got to trade them. Trade scrolling for reading. Trade gossip for mentorship. Trade complaints for gratitude. Because here's the truth. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. So if your habits don't match your goals, change your habits or forget your goals. It's that simple. It's that serious. Now don't think you have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. One change, one upgrade, one discipline at a time. Because when your habits align with your vision, you build momentum, you build confidence, you become unstoppable. So here's your assignment. Write down 3 daily habits that support your goal. Write down 1 habit that's holding you back. Replace that one with a better one, starting tomorrow morning. Because habits shape your future silently. They whisper today, but they shout tomorrow. So if you want a new life, start with a new habit. Let's keep moving. Next, we'll tap into a secret weapon used by the world's top performers. Visualize the finish line. Let me give you a truth most people overlook. You'll never hold it in your hand until you can first see it in your mind. If you want to build the life you've imagined, you must first imagine the life you want to build. See, top performers, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, they all use one powerful tool that costs nothing but changes everything. Visualization. Now don't let the word scare you. It's not magic. It's not fantasy. It's simply mental rehearsal. It's seeing the finish line before you run the race. Let me tell you why this works. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience. So when you consistently picture success, your mind starts to believe it's possible. It starts preparing you for it. And slowly your actions begin to align with that vision. Let me put it this way. You can't live accidentally what you haven't envisioned intentionally. If you want to speak on stage, start seeing yourself confidently walking up, speaking clearly, moving the crowd. If you want to earn a promotion, Start picturing how you walk, how you lead, how you bring value. If you want to build a business, see the logo, the customers, the emails coming in, the deals being made. Feel it, hear it, believe it, before you achieve it. And the best part, visualization doesn't take hours. Just a few focused minutes a day. Here's how to do it. Find a quiet place. Close your eyes. Picture your goal already achieved. How does it look? How does it feel? Who's around you? What are they saying? Anchor that feeling. Smile, nod, own it, open your eyes, and carry that energy into your day. That's it. Simple, but powerful. Now let me say this. You can't live a life you've never taken the time to mentally walk through. And this isn't about pretending. This is about preparing. Preparing your mind for the reality you want to build. Because once the mind is ready, the body follows. The discipline follows. The opportunities start showing up. So don't just dream randomly. Visualize intentionally. Every day. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. That little mental movie you play in your head. It becomes the blueprint for your real life. Because once you see the finish line, you stop wandering. You start running. And you run with clarity, purpose, and power. So here's your assignment. Take 5 minutes today, right after this chapter, and visualize your top goal as if it's already real. Do it again tomorrow. And the next day, do it until you believe it. And then keep doing it until you live it. Now that you've seen it, it's time to set a deadline for it. Set deadlines. Even if they scare you, let me share a simple truth that separates the dreamers from the doers. A goal without a deadline is just a wish. You can write it down, you can visualize it, you can talk about it over coffee for years. But until you give it a time frame, it has no urgency, no power, no teeth. Now I know what some people say. Jim, I don't like deadlines. They stress me out. Well, let me remind you, growth isn't always comfortable, but it is always necessary. Deadlines don't exist to punish you. They exist to focus you. They tell your brain, this isn't someday, this is soon. They turn ideas into action. They force you to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start working with what you've got. You see, the problem with most people isn't that they set goals too big. It's that they set them too loose. No structure, no date, no accountability. Someday is the enemy of achievement. So what's the solution? Set a deadline, even if it scares you. If you want to launch that project, set a date. If you want to save that money, put it on the calendar. If you want to make that move, take that leap, build that habit, draw the finish line. Because here's the thing, deadlines create momentum, and momentum beats motivation every time. Now listen, your deadline doesn't have to be perfect. You can always adjust your plan, but don't keep pushing the date. Discipline is built through pressure, and pressure comes from time. Have you ever noticed how productive you get the night before something is due? That's the power of a deadline. It brings focus. It filters distractions. It forces decisions. So here's what I want you to do. Take your top goal and assign it a deadline. Not a vague one, a specific one. By July 1st, within 90 days. By the end of this quarter. Now break it down further. What will you complete by the end of this month? What will be done by the end of this week? What can you do today that pushes the goal forward? Because the longer a goal lives without a deadline, the less likely it is to survive. Now don't set a date just to look ambitious. Set a date to start living intentionally. And here's one more Jim Rohn tip. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. So yes, deadlines can be uncomfortable, but they're also necessary. And they beat the heartbreak of wasted potential. Set the date, circle it, commit to it. And when fear shows up, good, that means you're serious now. Let's keep going. Because once you've got a deadline, you'll need a way to measure your progress. Track it or trash it. Let me say it plain and simple. Whatever you track, you improve. And whatever you don't, you lose sight of. You get sloppy with. You forget about. And eventually, you abandon it. So if you've got a goal, if you've taken the time to define it, write it down, break it down, and set a deadline. Now it's time to track it or trash it. Because without tracking, you're not really pursuing the goal. You're just hoping for it. Now don't misunderstand me. Hope is powerful. But hope is not a strategy. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. And do you know what creates that regret? Losing track of what mattered. Not realizing how far you drifted until it's too late. But when you track your progress, you shine a light on your path. You know where you are. You know what's working. You know what needs to change. That's when things get exciting. Because small wins tracked consistently build enormous momentum. Let me give you a few ways to do it. Use a simple weekly review sheet. What did I do? What didn't I do? What needs improvement? Use a habit tracker. Even a sticky note or checklist will do. Use a journal. Write one sentence a day about how your goal is progressing. Share it with someone. A friend, mentor, coach, or community who will ask, how's it going? Because when you know someone's watching, you show up different. Now listen, tracking is not about perfection. It's not about beating yourself up when you fall short. It's about staying aware, staying engaged, because life gets busy. Distractions multiply, and if you don't keep score, the game slips away. Progress that isn't measured gets lost in the noise of everyday life. So here's what I want you to do today. Choose a tracking system. Simple, daily, and visible. Schedule a weekly check-in. 10 minutes. Just you and your goals. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small, because momentum builds on progress, not perfection. And if something's not working, good. Now you know, now you can adjust. But if you're not tracking, you'll keep repeating mistakes in the dark. Remember, you don't need a fancy system. You need a consistent one. It could be a notebook, a whiteboard, a Google Sheet, an app on your phone, even tally marks on the fridge. Just make sure you can see it and update it daily or weekly. Because if you can measure it, you can manage it. And if you can manage it, you can master it. Let's move on. Now that you've got a scoreboard, it's time to add some accountability. Get accountability or get lost. Let me give it to you straight. If no one knows what you're trying to do, it's easy to do nothing. If no one's watching, if no one's asking, if no one's expecting, you'll let yourself off the hook. Not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because you're human. That's why one of the greatest success tools on the planet isn't a new planner, or a fancy app, or a high-tech goal system. It's this accountability. We do more for others than we often do for ourselves. You know it's true. You show up for work because someone's counting on you. You keep appointments because someone else is involved. But when it comes to your own goals, your dreams, you skip, you delay, you push it to tomorrow. Why? Because there's no pressure, no consequence, no one's checking. That's where accountability steps in. It turns private intentions into public declarations. And that, my friend, changes the game. Now let me tell you something important. Accountability is not about punishment. It's about partnership. It's not about someone breathing down your neck. It's about someone standing beside you saying, I see where you're going, and I'm not letting you stop. So what does this look like? Here are a few simple ways to add accountability to your life. 1. Tell someone your goal. Not just anyone, someone you respect. When they know, you show up different. 2. Schedule regular check-ins. Weekly is best. A short text, a quick call. Did you do what you said you would do? 3. Join a group, challenge, or community. When you're part of something bigger than yourself, you rise to the level of the team. 4. Hire a coach or mentor. Sometimes the best investment is someone who won't let you settle for less than your best. Now listen, this part is critical. Don't wait to feel ready before you share your goal. Share it to help yourself become ready. There's power in the promise. There's pressure in the process. And that pressure sharpens you, strengthens you, pushes you when you would have paused, keeps you honest when it's easier to hide. Because here's the reality. Without accountability, it's easy to drift. With accountability, it's hard to quit. So here's your assignment. Choose one person you can trust. Tell them your goal. Set a weekly check-in. Ask them to call you out and cheer you on. And then return the favor. Be someone else's accountability too. Because when we lift each other, we both rise. You've come this far. Don't go quiet now. Let's keep going. Because even with accountability, you'll face obstacles. Plans will fall apart. Schedules will shift. Adjust, don't abandon. Now let me tell you something real. Something most people won't admit. Your first plan probably won't work perfectly. There, I said it. And that's okay. Because success is not about having a perfect plan. It's about having the flexibility to adjust and the courage to continue. You see, life has a way of throwing curveballs. Distractions pop up. Resources run low. Timing gets messy. You hit walls you didn't see coming. So what do most people do? They give up. They say maybe it wasn't meant to be. They say, I tried. But here's what I say. Don't confuse a detour with a dead end. You can adjust the strategy without abandoning the goal. You can change the route without changing the destination. Because every worthwhile goal will require you to course correct. It's part of the process. Let me remind you, the airplane that gets you across the ocean. It's off course about 90% of the time, but it adjusts over and over again. Tiny changes, constant corrections, until it arrives exactly where it was headed. That's how goals work. Don't quit because it got hard. Don't walk away because it didn't go exactly as planned. Success is not a straight line. It's a messy journey. So here's what you do when things go sideways. 1. Review the goal. Is it still what you want? Does it still matter? If yes, keep going. 2. Assess what's working and what's not. Be honest. Where are the gaps? What needs a tweak? 3. Update your plan, not your dream. Revise the schedule. Rethink the steps. Rebuild the approach. But hold on to the vision, because this is where most people give up. Not because they weren't capable, but because they thought it had to be perfect from the start. Let me give you this. The ones who succeed are not the ones who never fall. They're the ones who rise, reassess, and restart, again and again. So here's your assignment. Take 15 minutes this week. Review your progress. Identify one thing you need to change, and then change it. Adaptation is not failure. It's wisdom. It means you're paying attention. It means you're still in the game. Winners don't quit. They adjust. So adjust, learn, pivot, but keep moving, because the only thing worse than a broken plan is a buried dream. Now we've reached the end of this journey, but it's just the beginning for you. Become the person your goals require, and here we are. You've made it through the process. You've learned how to dream with clarity. You've discovered the steps to set goals that actually work. But let me tell you the most important truth of all. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. Your goals, they're not just about achieving things. They're about becoming someone. And the version of you that gets the goal is not the same version who started it. That's the real journey. That's the hidden reward. Not just the promotion, but the confidence it took to ask for it. Not just the income goal, but the discipline it took to earn it. Not just the book written, but the identity shift from dreamer to doer. Because the true purpose of goal setting isn't just achievement, it's transformation. Let me remind you, set the kind of goals that make you better just by working on them. The kind that pull the best out of you. The kind that demand your focus, your growth, your patience, your leadership. Because the greatest reward isn't what you get, it's who you become. So now the question isn't just what do you want? The real question is, are you willing to become the person your goals require? If the answer is yes, then keep going. Keep learning. Keep refining your character, your habits, your thinking. Let your goals stretch you, mold you, challenge you. Let them shape your attitude. Let them sharpen your discipline. Let them deepen your purpose. Because you'll never outgrow the need for growth. And your best future is waiting for you on the other side of your daily actions. So what do you do now? You go back to chapter 1. You revisit your why. You recommit to your direction. You refine your plan. You keep tracking. You keep adjusting. You keep showing up. Day by day, step by step. Because that's what successful people do. They don't wish. They work. They don't hope for change. They become the change. And so can you. So the next time you think of giving up, remember what you've built. Remember why you started. And most of all, remember who you're becoming. Don't ask for it to be easier. Ask to be better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wait for opportunity. Build your capacity. This is how you build a life by design, not by default. Now go set goals that actually work, because you're becoming someone who actually follows through. And that, my friend, is what separates the few from the many. You've got this. Now go and earn it.